Hey guys, Kevin here. For dinner tonight, I'm making something a little bit unusual. It's a high-fat, low-carb, gluten-free, keto diet-friendly lasagna loaf. Let me adjust the camera so we can get started on the high-fat, low-carb, gluten-free, keto diet-friendly noodles. Now, I should probably mention that the idea for these noodles came from a website called Peace, Love, and Low Carb. So be sure to check them out, especially if you're on the keto or low carb diet. And what you do is preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Then break 2 large eggs into a bowl and add 4 ounces of thoroughly softened cream cheese. Yay! We love cream cheese. Then add a pinch of salt. And where did I put my salt? Right here. And grab your electric beaters. I think I paid $7 for these about 20 years ago. And go to town just mixing the eggs and the cream cheese together. And that's mixed enough. Then add 1 1/4 cups of shredded mozzarella. And mix that in with a spatula. And also add a 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan. And we'll call that a 1/4 cup. Actually, we'll call this a 1/4 cup. Hey, I've been cooking so long, I don't have to measure anything. But you should, unless you're my age. And that's 107. And then we have to bake this. So grab a 9 by 13 baking dish and line it with a piece of parchment paper. You do not have to oil or spray the parchment paper. And then in goes this glorious high fat but low carb, eggy, cream cheesy mixture, and spread it out along the bottom of the baking dish, making sure that you do not have any little holes anywhere, because we want this to bake into a solid shape. And I think mine is there right now. Have a look. So into the oven this goes for 20 to 25 minutes. I want mine to just turn a little spotty brown at the top. So I'll come back in a moment. While the noodles are cooking, we can go ahead and make the cheese mixture. So this is a fairly standard cheese mixture for all lasagnas. And what we have here is a cup of full-fat ricotta cheese. And to this, I'm going to add 2 beaten eggs. These are large eggs. And a pinch of salt. And some mozzarella cheese. Let's see, I'm going to use 1 whole cup. That's about a cup. Nah, this is about a cup. And we also need some Parmesan cheese, exactly half a cup. And we want to add some, let's see, you could add dried basil. I'm going to add dried thyme simply because I don't have dried basil. And the reason I don't have dried basil is because I don't care for it. I much prefer fresh basil. Anyway, Give this a good stir just to combine everything. And we're good to go. Now this can be covered with plastic and put in the refrigerator if you're not going to assemble the lasagna right away. I plan to assemble mine almost immediately, so I'll leave this out and we can move on to the meat mixture. Actually, our meat mixture will have to wait for a moment because my noodles, or what will be noodles, have just come out of the oven. And as you can see, the top is spotty brown. And what we do is use this parchment paper. Let's see. Let me move this over here and then lift the parchment paper. Be careful so you don't burn your hands. And then look at how flexible this is. And then put this on a wire rack to cool. There, let's have another look. And we'll let it cool while we make the meat mixture. I'll be right back. For the meat mixture, I am using 1 pound of sweet Italian sausage. And be sure to break up the meat as it cooks. I'm going to let this brown a bit and then I will come back to you. Okay then, my meat mixture is nicely broken up and it's almost all brown, maybe just a little bit of pink, but that's okay because it is going to continue cooking as we add some other ingredients. We're going to add a 15-ounce can of crushed tomatoes and some salt and a nice amount, about a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, which I love, and exactly this much onion powder, and precisely this much garlic powder. And by the way, you could use fresh garlic if you like. You do you. And some black pepper. And then give that a stir. And we let this cook until the crushed tomatoes thicken and most of the liquid has evaporated. Okay, my sauce has thickened appreciably and we're ready to move on to the next step. So hang on while I readjust the camera. For this next step, we need to cut our keto noodles into a size that will fit an 8.5 by 4.5 inch loaf pan. And I've already greased my loaf pan. I just sprayed it with nonstick vegetable spray. So we cut the noodles essentially into thirds. Like that. And we're going to actually layer the other ingredients on these noodles in the loaf pan. So let me get those ingredients ready and come right back to you. Oh, and by the way, make sure your oven is heated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So to assemble the lasagna, take a little bit of the meat mixture and spread it into the bottom of the pan. And then take one noodle and look at this. It's flexible. When I made this yesterday, I actually used it to make little sandwiches. They were very, very good. And then on the noodle goes half of the cheese mixture. Oh, this looks so good already. Why bother to bake it? But bake it we must, because that's what you do with lasagna. And I almost wish that I had doubled this recipe because I could put one of these in the freezer. Then add another layer of meat. This time you can use more than you used on the bottom. And spread it out a bit. And then we add the cheese. Just add the remaining cheese, like so. We only need 2 layers of cheese. And then add yet another noodle. Actually, I think I'm going to save this one for the top. I'll use one of the corner pieces for this layer. And then add more meat mixture. And I may have confused some of this because I still have one lasagna layer. And I think I wanted to end with meat mixture, and I've already used all my meat mixture, but too late now. I'm going to put my final lasagna noodle on top. And, yes, I wanted more. Oh, well, as I said, too late now. I messed up somewhere, but you won't. And I'll write the directions over on my website. And then finish with a nice handful of mozzarella cheese. And I'm going to push this down. Boy, this really filled up an 8.5 by 4.5 by 2.5 inch loaf pan. But it looks really good. It looks messy, of course. But this is going to go into the 350-degree oven for 35 to 40 minutes. And I will come back and we can have a little taste. Okay, I now know where I went wrong with my lasagna layers. It should have been, excuse me, I need glasses. It should have been little meat sauce, then the noodle, then the cheese mixture, then meat sauce, then noodle, then the remaining cheese mixture, then the meat sauce, another noodle, the last of the meat sauce, and then the sprinkling of mozzarella. I fixed mine by, I happened to have some sugar-free spaghetti sauce. I think it was just ragu. And I scraped off my mozzarella topping and spread some of the spaghetti sauce on top of my, take this off, on top of my final noodle. And then I sprinkled on the mozzarella. So all is well. And I'm still waiting for the lasagna to bake, so I'll be back. Okay, I'm back with the baked lasagna. And I have to say, it smells as good as it looks. I'm going to let it settle for about 5 minutes, and then we can cut into it and dish it up and have a taste. Okay, I am going to slice this up. And again, it looks as good as it smells. And you should be able to get a good 4 servings out of this. Ooh, still hot, still hot. Okay, oh, wow. Sorry to ooh and ah so much, but I get really excited about food. Honestly, I live for food, and cooking is never a chore for me. It's a creative outlet. So let's have a test, a taste test. Well, you can definitely tell that these are not actual pasta noodles, pasta lasagna noodles. Nevertheless, this is one delicious dish. Well, by all means, give this lasagna a try. Again, it's high fat, low carb, gluten-free, and keto diet friendly. It's also really delicious. And maybe there's something to this keto diet thing. So I'm going to finish this, and I'll probably have it with a glass of red wine. Can we eat? Can we drink red wine on the keto diet? I'll have to investigate this. Or if you know, you can drop me a line in the comments field below. Is wine allowed on the keto diet? Anyway, thanks for spending time with me today, and I hope you'll subscribe to my YouTube channel and give this recipe a thumbs up and post a comment below. And I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.